Hello and welcome to this reflection and meditation with me, James. This week we are using another work of art, a very famous painting of a wave by the Japanese artist Hokusai. The English translation of the title of this painting is The Great Wave of Kanagawa. But actually when you look at the translation from Japanese, it literally translates to Under the Wave of Kanagawa. And sometimes don't we feel like we're underneath a wave, or the waves around us might overwhelm us? And many of us turn to practices of mindfulness and meditation with the hope that we can weather these waves and storms a little bit better. Perhaps we've realised over the last weeks of practicing these videos and recordings that we can't stop the waves, and maybe it would be foolish to try. But we can, over time, get more aware of the waves that move around us and within us. And hopefully we can connect with a part of us that somehow remains steady throughout all of those different waves of life. So to accompany this painting and our meditation practice, I'm going to be reading a poem by the art historian and famous curator of Japanese art, Roger Keyes. And he describes this poem, which is called Hokusai Says, as a translation of what he read in the painting. So find a comfortable seat and calm your body and begin to notice the breath. Now, if at any point you want to close your eyes, or you need to move because it would help you to feel more comfortable, then feel free to do so. And once I've read this poem, we will stay in silence for some time, noticing our breath, noticing our body, noticing the movements of our mind. Hokusai says. Hokusai says, look carefully. He says, pay attention, notice. He says, keep looking, stay curious. He says, there is no end to seeing. He says, look forward to getting old. He says, keep changing. You just get more who you really are. He says, get stuck, accept it, repeat yourself as long as it is interesting. He says, keep doing what you love. He says, every one of us is a child, every one of us is ancient, every one of us has a body. He says every one of us is frightened. He says every one of us has to find a way to live with fear. He says everything is alive. Shells, buildings, people, fish, mountains, trees, wood is alive, water is alive. Everything has its own life. Everything lives inside us. He says, live with the world inside you. He says it doesn't matter if you draw or write books. It doesn't matter if you saw wood or catch fish. It doesn't matter if you sit at home and stare at the ants on your veranda or the shadows of the trees and grasses in your garden. It matters that you care. It matters that you feel. It matters that you notice. It matters that life lives through you. Contentment is life living through you. Joy is life living through you. Satisfaction and strength is life living through you. He says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Love, feel, let life take you by the hand. Let life live through you. And now take a moment to slowly deepen your breath. Notice perhaps the waves that have been coming and going in your body, in your mind, in your feelings during this practice. And now as you deepen the breath, notice the waves of your breath and your own energy living through you, moving through the body. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh out. 2 more like this. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth and sigh. Letting go of this practice. Take a big breath in. And open the mouth, open the eyes, sighing out. And I hope you enjoyed this practice or that it was useful for you in developing your mindfulness practice and your awareness. For more practices with me, do look at yogaproject.co.uk. I offer a range of yoga classes which incorporate mindfulness with movement, and that might be of interest to you. Thank you for sharing your time and your practice with me.